Welcome back to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be going through my latest prediction for the 2024 Senate elections. I have all of the safe and likely states characterized. We have the states of Maryland and Virginia for the Democrats, and then the likely states of Texas and Florida for the Republicans. Generally, Maryland is a safe state, but there's a popular Republican governor. That is probably going to narrow the margin down slightly, but it'll definitely remain in Democratic hands. And we'll be starting off by characterizing each of these swing states. So we have the state of Nevada. Nevada, I think, well, and right off the bat, Republicans are at 50 seats. They flip one seat, the seat Joe Manchin is currently holding, and they are able to, if Trump wins re-election, they're going to be able to hold Senate control with the vice presidential being able to make the tie-breaking vote. Being J.D. Vance at the moment. So we'll be starting with characterizing each of these swing states. Democrats are at 43, but a good chunk of these are likely going to be in the Democratic column, so they're going to be able to gain some ground. But right off the bat, if Republicans are able to win on the presidential level, then it will be a Republican-held Senate. So we'll start out with the state of Nevada. In Nevada, I could definitely see a world where this state goes red on the presidential level, but is able to remain blue on the Democratic level. I do think that the most likely situation, especially now that Harris is the nominee, that it will likely remain in Democratic hands on the presidential level. But for now, we're going to go with a prediction of lean blue for the senator there. And then we're going to be going to the state of Arizona. In Arizona, Kari Lake is now officially the Republican challenger against Ruben Gallo. I think that generally Arizonans aren't too big a fan of her. She's lost at the governor race before, and I think that the state will likely end up remaining in Democratic hands. Well, it currently is Kyrsten Sinema's seat, and she's retiring, but I do think that this will be a Democratic-held seat. And then actually we'll come back to the state of Montana. Oh no, we can do it now. So in the state of Montana, I think this is likely to remain or to switch to Republican hands. I think it is the second most likely state to flip. First, of course, being West Virginia. So with that, Republicans are able to lock a majority in the Senate with 51 seats to the Democrats' 45 at the moment. But then we still have these four states left to characterize. State of Wisconsin, this is Tammy Baldwin's seat. She's got a really good chance at re-election. She's a very well-liked senator. He's probably going to do pretty well on the Senate level. And then in Michigan, I'm kind of torn between tilt and lean Democratic, but I do think that it will probably end up remaining in Democratic hands. So I'm going to give it a tilt just because there is no incumbent in this race. The incumbent Democratic senator is not in this race, and it is against two newcomers. I do think it will likely remain in Democratic hands, but it might be by a slightly narrow margin than in a state like Wisconsin, where Tammy Baldwin is already a very well-liked and approved of senator. Then we will go to the state of Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, this is Bob Casey's seat. Bob Casey Jr., I believe it is. He's got a really good chance at re-election. He's a very well-liked senator as well, similar to Tammy Baldwin. And he's probably going to be able to win the state of Pennsylvania. And then the state of Ohio. I think Ohio is probably going to be one of, if not the closest states in the 2024 election cycle. But for now, I'm going to give it as a tilt blue characterization. It's possible that that state ends up going to the Republican Party. It's generally the polls have indicated that it is generally going to remain in Democratic hands with Sherrod Brown. He's a pretty well-liked senator. The question will be if there's enough voters that vote for Trump and Sherrod Brown. In the presidential level, Ohio will probably go to the Republican candidate, Trump, by probably somewhere in the margin of like 8 to 10 points. Seems like a reasonable guess, and that's usually what it goes for in the last few elections. But I do think that on the Senate level, it might be a different story. Like I said, I could totally see it flipping. But for now, we're going to go with a tilt blue characterization, leaving us with 51 seats for the Republicans to 49 seats for the Democratic Party after the 2024 United States Senate elections. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.